know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make unbelievable, unremarkable
When your industry is in trouble, the things that you don't want to do are go on strike, which they did.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
We will not allow you to take away our dignity!
And keep attacking the audience, make yourself feel disgusting, and get even less people to watch, which they did. And are doing.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
Some of the fan base just sicken me to my stomach. You're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
What are they for? Look at the chubby little bastards just sitting around everywhere.
In fact, I had to make this video because Bill Maher said something I agree with, which I'm pretty sure is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And he said if their side want to win, then Hollywood celebrities need to shut the F up because you're not helping. Now, for obvious reasons, I don't care about the first bit. On that front, I've got enough of my own problems over here. But Hollywood celebrities do need to shut up if they ever want to get movies back on track. Not least because if you have a 100% success rate on always choosing the evil side of a topic, the audience isn't going to like it that much, and you'll destroy stories in the process. As all stories are morality tales, if you push a morality in a story opposite that of the audience, they will instantly reject it. And these are people which are planning a strike against their own union. So, professional, intelligent people that make smart life choices, they aren't.
If I fall over, pick me up because I've got some things to say. Inclusion rider.
There are definitely better people to get advice from. That's why you know it's getting bad when Bill Maher is even willing to speak out against you. And it's not as if it's even a theory at this point. Iron Lung being made by Markiplier has proven many things. It's been a great win for indie studios, but it really showed the benefit of making niche movies for a target demographic. He has an audience of people just like him that like his sense of humor, his creative direction, the way he makes videos. So it made sense that they'd like a movie that he made. Hollywood could do that too if they cared about the quality of the end product. If they picked a target demographic like men, and then hyper-focused on them and gave them exactly what they asked for. Like a dude slaughtering a load of people with a TNA character in the back he's got to save from the evil villain. This isn't hard, folks. Yet instead, what we're left with is shows like Starfleet Academy that get beaten by William Shatner holding a bowl of fibre.
Will Shat bringing fibre to the masses.
Even as I'm saying it, I feel like I have to point out this is not the B. This isn't a parody version. This is the state of the world. I mean, the article gives a warning about potty humour.
Will Shat in the house.
Wait, Will Shat where?
Never mind.
But then again, Starfleet Academy has Jaden, and so he kind of makes his own.
Your bearing is also impressive.
You'd need reconstructive surgery. It's even reached a point now where studios are just coming out and saying why they're doing all of this stuff, what their main interest is when they make entertainment. HBO Max is soon to launch in the UK, and so we got loads of interviews about where they think they're going in the future. And one of their brags was, years to date, our stories don't just get watched, they ignite conversation, and when we're at their best, they actually shape culture. Oh sure, they can give lip service to delivering what consumers want the most, but really what they're in is giving them something they'll consume, so that they can force change upon them. It's something the BBC has been trying for a long time, who recently have even been told to stop tick box diversity casting. And I'll probably do a video on that article at some point, but it's not actually what it seems. The way it comes down to is you should stop casting clunky, inauthentic, and preaching to the viewer, but only because it's harming foreigners. It's more a, you're doing this in a really ineffective way and making people realise what you're doing. We can be sneakier about this. And I have a feeling if you dug into it a bit more, that would be more Bill Maher's position, because every single person he's got to put up with must be driving him insane. The media, of course, is just egging them on. Some celebrities are using their platforms to respond to arresting criminals. Billie Eilish, Pedro Pascal, Natalie Portman, Olivia Rodrigo, all the insufferable people wearing pins, making statements, urging action, but not actually doing anything about it. Oh, we believe in this so much as they go back to their mansions and do absolutely nothing.
Do you feel that's effective or no?
Oh, come on. I don't need to wear a pin about it.
There was once a day where if someone believed this strongly about something, they'd throw themselves upon their own sword. Of course, this is all self-interest. Social manipulation, subversion, manipulating the morality of their betters. This is less about actually caring about something and more pretending to be seen to care about something, which would actually make more sense from a moral perspective if what they were always seen to care about wasn't horrific, which is how you know it's not a genuine position. This is simply saluting to the rest of the crowd that I'm one of you boys. I'm safe and part of the horde. I don't think for myself.
I take responsibility.
Really wish that we could get it to you guys, but we need to stand on the right side of history.
It's why they get very, very annoyed when they're called out on something. There's a reason why I say these people don't matter. It's not just because they don't matter. It's because when you've got an ego, when you are a narcissist, anyone poking that very fragile shell you've built around yourself has genuine impact. And I find that funny. I get a little tired of Hollywood jackasses telling us what they think.
Turn her keys back to her multi-million-dollar mansion to whomever's...
He's like a dog that's just eaten something. Dogs actually do lick around their mouth when they're very nervous and don't know what to say, and this is just, I've never been confronted with an opinion before Stacy says.
If you don't like it, don't listen.
No, you should just tune out and then let all of the scum just run rampant and destroy the universe. If you don't like it, don't listen is simply a statement that goes, why do you even have standards? Why are you better than me? Can't you just sink down to our level and let us burn everything? I was really happy burning everything. Look, I know I'm setting fire to your house, but can't you just move out for a bit while I do it? I'm having fun. Well, the truth comes back. I don't really care about you. So no, when you're being horrific, I'm going to call it out. And if you are costing Hollywood millions of dollars, seems to be a point worthy of accountability. I mean, we recently found out that Snow White lost Disney $170 million. Also that Rachel could brag about how little she needed blokes while having a boyfriend.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, therefore it's extremely dated.
Big focus on her love story.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Not going to be saved by the prince.
She's weird.
You know, they say you can't put a price on a woman's freedom, but it seems to be $170 million. And a person you wouldn't want to hire in your movie because they actively destroy it.
That's true.
I don't care what you think is true. I care what actually is true. I care about reality, not the opinion of an NPC.
Because nobody listens to us.
You know,
and I think
that's
she's
not
100%.
It is true. In fact, no, that isn't true, actually. I agree with her for once. It's probably the first time anyone with sense has. People do listen to celebrities. And then they turn off the television. Put on something from another country where they actually make base masculine entertainment. Yeah, the problem with celebrities is people do hear you. You do have a platform. And you are listened to. And then they're repulsed.
Celebrity.
Oh my god. I've got a minge. Hear me whine.
They don't care.
Nobody cares, darling. Your minge has no power here.
That is fair enough.
Don't touch him. We don't want to go to HR because you just can't resist your betters. Jennifer Lawrence finally said, I'm not going to speak up politically because no one listens to us. That's not true. Many people do care what celebrities think. And that's your problem. It's not that they care what they think, but they do hear them, they do have a platform, and do get put out in the media, and then they repulse their audience. It would be better if no one heard what celebrities think, because what they think is actively destroying their industry. It's acidic to quality. All you're doing is making his argument for them that they should shut up. Take, for instance, John that thing, where he decided to tell his fans,
unfollow me, don't come to my shows, and don't watch my movies.
Yeah, I've seen that before. We had it in comics with Kelly Sue DeConnick saying, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. So they didn't. To be honest, I would have judged that book by its cover and not bought it anyway. Then we had Rachel Zegler, who said that her audience should never know peace. And I'm pretty sure at some point she said to unfollow her as well if you didn't like it.
Just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
But as for John Quizamo,
don't come to my shows and don't watch my movies.
Well, I went to his IMDb page and I'm like, don't watch his movies. Don't watch his movies. Well, see more. Don't watch his movies. Don't watch his movies. Don't watch his movies. Oh, there we go. I had to go back to 2017 to find one of his movies that I'd watched. Should be pretty easy to do, mate. American celebrities have no idea about PR. When Kirsten Stewart said, I'm ready to make movies outside of the United States. It's like, oh, great. So you don't need them as an audience then. You're not making them for them. You're making it abroad. That's your virtue signal. You're going to help all of those little people over there that you have never thought about before in your life. I'm going off to the far off lands. I'm so brave. And then I'm going to shove them down the throat of the American people. Are you, though? Because the thing is, Kristen Stewart has made some crazy statements in a time.
Entertainment industry is capitalist hell, and it hates women, and it hates marginalized voices, and it's racist. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of some sort of weird, like, Marxist, communist-like situation that other people can definitely think, like, of course this psycho is saying that, but I think it's possible.
But you also built, like, streaky bacon. You couldn't shove anything down anyone's throat. And even if you could, that's not how movies work. You have to make people like you. People have to want to give you money. You have to be Markiplier.
10 people who are over the age of 50 and male weighing in on what my queer character's hair should look like.
The difference between Markiplier's attitude, where he's just thanking people, I'm so glad you liked my movie, and if you didn't like it, well, I hope you come to the next one where it's going to be even better. So I'm going to shove it down your throat. All anyone wants from actors is this. All you have to do is show up, look cute, shut up. You are a piece of meat. Not a person. Nobody goes to the movies to see your personality. You're not Tom Cruise. There are some actors the audience genuinely likes and roots for and wants to succeed, like Henry Cavill. Those are the exceptions, though. And the ones that are like that, everyone can name, and those actors, I imagine, know who they are. One of the few sane people, which, I don't know who this guy is, but I would have judged this book by its cover. I didn't expect the same comments to be coming from him, to be honest. He said, people shouldn't care to hear my opinion. I'm a dumb redneck. When it should be, I'm a celebrity. I hate to be the artist that sounds aloof. You don't sound aloof. Actually, you sound grounded. The aloof thing is going out to Variety and going, actually, I think I should be talking about this. Again, something Bill Maher did way better with his response.
I don't need to wear a pin about it.
But I just feel so disconnected. I didn't know politics were real until I was in my mid-20s in jail. Okay. Book, cover, it always works. Sydney Sweeney, though, you may remember her from such things as...
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring. My genes are blue.
Yeah, for some reason, everyone wants to drag her into it, is because they're jealous. She's hot, they're not, and that makes them hate her. Now, if it was on their side, it'd be friendly fire. They'd have to come up with some other subversive, manipulative way to attack her. But by othering her, separating her out from all the other lunatics, well, now we've got an excuse. Oh, we don't hate you because you're just far more attractive than we are. We hate you because you're MAGA Barbie, which seems like a very strange insult. These people aren't the brightest. If I was going to insult somebody, it wouldn't be with a massively popular franchise. It's like, oh, you're just like Jurassic Park. Like what? I make billions every year, and people love me so much, they'll go and watch me no matter how low my quality is. I'm really not seeing the insult here, to be honest. It's like Barbie made over $1 billion out of nowhere. The women love her. I don't know what you're talking about. But what they were really annoyed about wasn't any value system relating to Sydney, because Sydney wasn't talking about it. What they were annoyed about is the men liked her, whereas they know the men don't like them. If the modern age is the attention economy, well, she was getting all the attention, and that means she was winning. And the men liked her because of this.
That's called the PG Google searches. I know what you Google.
After decades of men being told, no, I should be able to get about, and that doesn't mean anything, but it's wrong if you look at them. For once, the men had somebody who goes, I know that you look at me, and I like it. It's fine. Of course, she's gonna get the attention, because really, nobody likes a miserable bitch. Evie magazine even recently covered a study that said that women that were well endowed get more hate from other women. They show more indirect and verbal hostility towards women that are more attractive because they get the attention from men, and attention is what they desire. Why would this happen? Well, it's due to an evolutionary mating strategy where rather than engaging in direct physical aggression or violence, this is because women's magazine doesn't understand how men compete. Men don't compete through physical aggression and violence, although that could be part of showing status and power. Men don't care as much about their looks because they compete on a far wider level. Why do women go, oh, he wants to make me laugh? Well, it's because the sense of humour is linked to intelligence, and intelligence is linked to resource acquisition. For men, it's far more about status, money, and power. This is why men are more risk-taking. It's because they peacock. It's about showing off their deeds, what they're capable of, what they've got. Whereas for women, it's more about their genetics. Due to women's greater parental investment, aggression must go undetected. Well, that's because otherwise they would get excommunicated from the tribe and die. They needed other women to help them raise their own children and to protect them when the men were gone. So they developed this sort of social, subversive, reputation-destroying form of combat.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome. You look great in your jeans. Great. Maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people. Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
Whereas men are overt. They evolved these mechanisms to increase vigilance to potential threats. Because men place a premium on youth and physical looks, women have learned to become attentive to other attractive women and indirectly undermine attractive female rivals through tactics like reputation destruction, and to reduce perceived threats to their own relationship, or to destroy the others and ensure that she doesn't breed. Survival of the fittest doesn't actually mean you have the best genes. It means that your genes spread better throughout the gene pool. And one way you can spread the influence of your genes is by making sure less people are in it. Attractive female rivals exhibit facial femininity, lower waist to hip ratios, and being Sydney Sweeney. Of course, Sydney Sweeney actually played the smart game. It doesn't actually matter if she does have a side. It's like, no, I've just been here to make art, not have a conversation at the front of it. I'm not here to talk about politics. This isn't the conversation I want to be the forefront of. People just want to use me as their own pawn, but that's you assigning something to me, and I can't control that. This manages to drop all the drama from the evil side. Well, the moral side is like, yeah, we don't care if you're neutral. I don't care if you don't have an opinion on something, because if you don't feel knowledgeable enough to have an opinion on it, I'd prefer you didn't. Better than feeling that you have to have an opinion, so you go to the news, and then you end up in hell. Nobody deserves to be over there, it's horrific. And if neutrality is only a position held by one side, well, you're just gonna have to support that side if you want to be able to maintain that position. I don't need anybody to agree with me, but you should at least hate them.
But the risk is that, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
Because with silence being violence, they're still going to hate Sydney even with this comment. This is the right position for the industry. But unless the industry as a whole goes down with it, then it doesn't tend to win too many friends. I think the reason why it has worked in this case is because it allows people like The Hollywood Reporter to have a scalp. They think they've taken something with this. That, you thought she was one of yours, but now she's just said she's not. When everyone on that side is like, no, we understand, we completely understand. In an age of, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Get this blue mess with a beard. No, that's okay, never mind.
At the end of the day, this is a story of representation, and it matters.
In a desert, the one person with water is a savior no matter how neutral they want to say they are. And I don't think there is any better example of this than the recent Overwatch controversy. I mean, seriously, it's like a 1-to-1. All we've done is change the hair. She is a VA for a new character in Overwatch, and seem to forget that.
Didn't want to not address the elephant in the room.
In other words, I wanted to speak out about this. I couldn't resist it. So you get on my soapbox.
Tightrope in my mind of trying to give grace to the developers because they're always trying their best.
By giving grace to the developers, she means throw them under the bus and then drive the bus herself. So her problem is that the character that she voices is just too attractive.
The unspoken promise that said, we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing and ransacking media these days.
People are too attractive. People in media are too attractive. 2026. Where everyone's a dog and the monsters are ruling the universe. She's like, these people are too... Can you imagine the hideous abomination that she wants in a game? Women have learned to become attentive to other attractive women and indirectly undermine attractive female rivals through tactics like reputation destruction and to reduce perceived threats to their own relationship.
Right, the Ozempic chic.
By Ozempic chic, she means what a human being looks like. This isn't Ozempic, this is what a person looks like when they consume the correct amount of calories. I can understand why some people in society may have forgotten that, given the kind of things that they're around. But that is a normal human body. It's what you're meant to look like.
Contour your nose. You have no nose, the tiniest nose.
She doesn't like cute noses. Let's see how big that nose is. So if you have a normal nose... It's just a nose, love. But she's like, I've got a massive honker that could take down an astronaut. Everybody else does as well. Attractive female rivals exhibit facial femininity, lower waist-to-hip ratios, and being Sydney Sweeney. That's the image that she wants, by the way. Presumably, as she's already commented on Ozempic, she wants that, but the size of a whale. Basically wants Hammond with that just massive nose stuck on the top of it. That's the preferred thing here.
I think because of that precedence, people feel understandably let down.
Who? Who's this we? Who are these people? We know what you mean, love. Now I know you're trying to use collective guilt against everybody. No, look at all these people that I'm speaking up for that all empower me. No, it's just you, isn't it? This is selfish. This is you. This is your insecurities. This is your narcissism. This is your problem. That you're trying to use collective power to make it seem like you have a point. When really, the audience is men, dear. The audience is men that want to look at attractive women and they don't care about you. Because you don't matter. Which is the problem with all the celebrities. None of them want to realise that you don't matter. The only thing that matters is the bottom line. The only thing that matters is the audience. And you are not it. You are not the target demographic of a first-person shooter PC video game. Now, if this was a knitting circle, if we were creating the next Barbie doll, if this was Wuthering Heights and we needed advice on what we should write in the next Clitlet, maybe we'd come to you. But when it comes to the first-person shooting, violent, aggressive video game...
Overwatch is a trailblazer at challenging that, right?
It was. It has some of the ugliest people ever to have existed on the face of the planet. Overwatch added in this mess. You know what happened when they added this in? The game died. Yeah, the game died. Because nobody wants to look at these characters. What the men really want to look at is the hot ones. And so as the game died, and Marvel Rivals came out and started adding hot characters in, Overwatch started doing it as well. That was until we started to get this harping on. And then they folded.
We're sorting through all the questions, comments, excitement, and feedback that you've all shared.
Quick, panic stations! We don't actually care about our audience. Somewhere a woman's got a backup about something. We've got to pay attention to that. Blizzard spent fortunes creating 10 new characters, a whole year of content, relaunching the game, getting a load of excitement from old players wanting them to get back, and then it was all destroyed with one collared-haired lunatic complaining that her character was too hot for her. Once again, This study is undefeated. You should have got Sydney Sweeney to be the voice actress. And I know, people go, she's Chinese. You need a Chinese person to voice act her. Actually, I agree. But the person they hired is a Canadian, culturally appropriating being Chinese in the first place. And Marvel Rivals is a Chinese game. This is the game you get when Chinese people are actually involved in the creation of things, which isn't really a surprise when you find out that China bans effeminate men on TV. Because they realise the importance of gender roles, and they realise that when you break those, it destroys society. But gosh darn it, if we have to destroy society just so she doesn't feel insecure, then that's a price she's willing to pay.
There is a woman being called Piggy by our president.
So, that's the correct response. That should have been the response to this. Oh no, I'm sorry you're voicing someone that's too attractive for you. But quite frankly, you're not the target demographic.
Female reporters being shouted down. It's always the women being shouted down.
And through her tears, through her crocodile tears, just designed to manipulate people so they don't actually realise that she doesn't have a point or any logic or reason for this. It's just my emotions. The one question she'll never ask is why, if it's always women getting shouted down, what are they doing to cause it?
They need our voice.
Why? Why? Have you done any research into this? Do you even know what your voice is? Because I bet you'd also talk about equality. I bet you'd say there's no difference between men and women. So by your worldview, what are you bringing? Now, I would say there is a huge difference. I can explain the differences, equality and safety and harm avoidance versus hierarchy, justice, order. And I could also tell you what kind of stories they'd lead to, the different benefits, the negatives between those two opposing worldviews, and the stories that they make, and how they're for entirely different demographics. You know what this one doesn't need over here, though? This voice. Because this voice can only ruin this morality. Because this voice could only ruin this story. So why do they need your voice?
And probably a therapist.
That's someone that goes to a therapist. I can tell by the tears. There was nothing in there that was an argument. It was also all emotion. And you have to employ me. You need my voice. What does my voice mean? Oh, it means give me a job. Give me a job. You have to give me a job. You need me to give me a job. Look, I know you're making something for a different demographic, but you need me in the room. Why do you need me in the room? Well, it's so I can whine and complain at you and harp on and nag. And then if you ignore me, because she did say...
And I want you to know that I shared all of this with the dev team.
Yeah, you need me in the room. You have to give me a job. You have to pay me. You have to sort all those tick boxes out. You have to put me in a position that I couldn't earn and don't deserve. Why? Well, it's so I can destroy your game. And if you don't listen to me in the back room, I'm going to take it publicly. I'm going to destroy your game publicly. That's not an employee, that's a liability. And why?
Not an exploration of what the world is. It's an exploration on what the world could be.
And look at what it could be, folks. You too could have a world filled with fugly monsters. If I wanted to see that, I'd travel. You also see what she really hates about it.
Looks more docile than the most docile peacekeeping support in the game.
She has a problem that she's feminine. I can't understand why she'd have a problem with that. It eludes me. Attractive female rivals exhibit facial femininity, lower waist-to-hip ratios. Due to women's greater parental investment, aggression must go undetected.
I've been seeing everyone's redesigns and quietly bookmarking them.
Oh, redesigns. Yeah, I actually have one of those. This is one of the redesigns that she likes. Yes, the redesigns that she really likes are just men in dresses.
Attractive female rivals exhibit facial femininity.
The people that should have been hired for the role, rather than her culturally appropriating them, taking one of their jobs. Something which I'm sure in any other circumstance she would be against. Until she's getting paid, because it's all about greed and self-interest. But if you don't do what I say, I will publicly destroy your company and cost you billions of dollars. In fact, her damage to the company has only been topped by him coming out and destroying even more billions of dollars by giving her what they want. We're not going to take that. Who do you think you are? By doing that, you not only would have got her as a VA replaced her, you would have got loads of support from actual people who play your game and scared off all the lunatics that you don't want anyone near you. It's a filter. Everyone should have a filter, so they get caught in it. You can tell and get rid of them before they affect your life.
I know sometimes when you're in the studio with a bunch of guys, it can be hard.
Why? Not once do any of these people wonder why they feel so intimidated around them. Maybe I'm intimidated because I realize they're better than me.
I urge you to always listen to yourself and always fight for your ideas.
I urge you to fight for your ideas if you're correct, not to always fight for your ideas. That leads to this. I also wouldn't take advice from anyone that looks like that in a photo. When she turns sideways, she looks like the Penguin. I think one of my favourite virtue signals about this that proves it's all about self-interest was how Grey's Anatomy took a pause in order to protest something. Yeah, they went dark on January 30th. That was it. One day. A Friday? I'm not going into work on Friday. Why? Well, I've got to change the world. Look, if Grey's Anatomy misses one day of filming, I don't know how the world will cope. And they Well, they wanted a 3-day weekend. My theory is that someone had booked a holiday abroad and was like, oh, they won't give me sick leave. No, you don't understand. I'm leaving because of the state of the world. It's always self-interest.
I know that right now is a scary time.
I don't know what despair she's talking about. She's on stage in the nation which is the superpower of the world, the richest country in the world, and she's like, it's so scary right now, I don't know what's happening. Actually, I do understand that she can't comprehend what's happening. It's probably the main part about that. Tom Cruise could probably teach you what's happening, though, as he had to flee his £35 million flat because of armed gangs raiding a Rolex store just down the road from where he lives. London has declined and is no longer safe. Now, I could tell you why it wasn't safe. Without even seeing any CCTV, I could tell you what that was. But John you is probably wouldn't like it. Although, let's be honest, if by 2026 he hasn't learned that you shouldn't film up your nose, then throughout all of his time in Hollywood, he seemingly hasn't picked up any actual talent. The only person that uses that camera angle is Starfleet Academy. Nobody wants to see up your nose, dear. I don't even know what I'm watching anymore.
When the blank night has so long stood.
Oh, he's so emotional. I mean, I thought it was just a little problem, but it was big enough for him.
When they forever are so fiercely good.
That poem meant a lot to him. It was really emotional for him. You know how I knew that poem meant a lot for him? In fact, he had to read it on his phone. He cared about that so deeply, he didn't even know what the words were.
Amanda Gorman for Renee Holdgood.
Why are you talking about this? I mean, if he got hit by a car, it'd be more understandable. They wouldn't be able to see him. And of course, you've got people over here, our media, also completely lunatics and entirely one-sided about over in the US. So, while Brian May is like, it's too dangerous for it to do concerts in the US, everyone is thinking twice. I actually don't blame him as much because over here is just a 24/7 constant blaring. Danger, danger, America bad. It's kind of wild. So this one, I'm at least willing to say could well be ignorance. Rather than self-interest, or self-interest, or self-interest, or self-interest, or self-interest. Also, Brian May is probably really used to living in an extremely safe environment in his £25 million home in Surrey, actually. And it's extremely safe in Surrey, let alone his postcode. Now, the interesting thing with good stories are how they analyze something. So Star Trek always had an idea that it went through and showed you it from different perspectives, different elements of humanity, which were all represented by different characters. Picard was more the guy, he was the peacetime guy. He's the guy that could afford to be the generous, benevolent, peace-loving guy. Whereas Sisko, he had to make choices pushed on the edge. Is it worth killing one person to save 5 million people? And there's a load of people that don't understand Star Trek who are like, this is deconstructing Star Trek, or this is moral greyness. It's not moral greyness. That decision is an objectively moral good. There is a right answer, and it is good. He was doing the right thing in hard circumstances, and when it comes to things like war, you need the men who are of the justice-based morality, not the care-based one. When the cards are down, the care-based one goes back where it belongs. And that is one of the issues that Hollywood can never do. All their virtue signaling, all their selfish greed, all the narcissism, attention seeking, and just begging for a job. Trying to manipulate people for a job doesn't work. Everyone can see through it. You're very transparent. You're always arguing for yourselves. It's an attempt to pretend to be the victim, to come out with all of this emotion. No, so it's all emotion-based. There's a lot of crying. There's a pretending to be ever so concerned. But it's all to essentially manipulate their moral betters. And the thing is, both sides know this is correct. As Matthew Marsden said, people still say that Hollywood cancelling conservatives is a myth. Meanwhile, Trevor Noah, surrounded by his NPCs who are all signalling to the tribe that I'm just like you, I believe everything you do, please don't cancel me.
John Legend, Billie Eilish, Phineas, Nicki Minaj is not here, she is not here.
Yeah, someone who doesn't agree with this isn't here, because otherwise we might actually be required to have a thought. We won't want that. I want to remain in the safety of my hood box, where I know I've got the right decision, because somebody else gave it to me. Wanda Sykes proved this point as well. It is amazing how comfortable they are doing it. And she did it with Bill Maher, of all people. Somebody who would agree with her on most things.
Bill Maher, you give us so much. I would love a little less.
He was completely confused. He was taken off guard. He wasn't ready for it. Like, why are you doing that to me? I haven't done anything to you. I've been perfectly civil to you. I behaved well to you. But to her, he's an enemy. Because despite being on her side, he's still willing to go, I don't agree with everything, and that's enough. It did make me laugh that after this, Ricky Gervais came out and reminded them of a speech. If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Ricky Gervais, obviously, when he presented the Golden Globes, just took an axe to the crowd. Metaphorically. He told them all the truth to their face, took the piss out of them, and he didn't care because he wasn't planning to do it again. Then you have Trevor Noah, a guy who has never been funny, but he has got the role because tick box, tick box, tick box. That'll do. And what tactic did he use in the Golden Globes?
Oh, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it?
Oh, I'm such a rebel. I've said something that everyone in the crowd has cheered for. I've said something that all of the media, all the corporate press, and everyone in California will all agree. Lavish me with praise. Clap for me as I bow down to my corporate overlords and push against an open door. Because I'm a rebel, you know. I'm such a rebel.
What are you going to do about it?
And yet I think this picture is the perfect summary of Hollywood. It is all of the celebrities in the front of the crowd going, look, give me attention, look what I've done, aren't I amazing? Oh, isn't it all about me? It's all about me and me getting jobs and me getting money. Meanwhile, here's the actual industry just about to eat them for lunch, and they're all about to lose their jobs. You want proof that this is all about the celebrity and not what they're talking about? How about this? No, I'm protesting, you see. I think this is an important message. All of my fans need to listen to, and that's why I've done it ever so cutely on my nails. Look, aren't I cute? Yes, I've managed to virtue signal and look cute. Give me attention. Say I'm a good girl. This is no different than having a Prada bag or a purse puppy. Do you remember those? It was never about the puppy. It was about bringing attention to the woman. My personal favourite was this. It was like just eating themselves. She got a role, which then she decided to resign because, ooh, I don't represent the character. It's a shame that some other miserable bints didn't realise that as well, when they were like, but you're not even Chinese. You're Canadian. We definitely got someone who is native to China, right? In this case, she resigned because, well, she wasn't Mexican. So, okay, I think a Mexican person should take this role. And I agree. I don't think you should have this role. Now, for some reason, they decided to call this whitewashing. What? I don't think you know what that word means. This is just not a Mexican. It's about the change happening when Latinos are trusted to lead projects, shape our own narratives, and be part of the decision-making. You know what the response to that is? Well, we're not going to make stories about you then. One of the things that I don't think anyone in Hollywood seems to have realized is that the more you limit things to California, not only are you alienating the majority of America, but the further you go away from California into foreign countries, especially foreign languages, well, if more than half of America don't care about it, the foreigners care even less. And if the majority of your box office comes from abroad, or even a 50-50 split, yeah, that matters. The rest of the world doesn't care about Mexican stories. It really doesn't. It's not a tick box for them. It's not like, oh, I've just sat in my entire life wondering what's happening over there. But what they are used to is American entertainment. They're used to traditional Hollywood entertainment. They're used to the American movies really proud of themselves, going around blowing up people. Lots of flags, patriotism, and even though they wouldn't be patriotic for America, they understand patriotism because they will be for their own country, or should be, depending what the country's doing. The masculine American values worked around the world because they could be related to by people around the world rather than the effeminate ones that they've got now. But if you strip all of that away and you just go, well, it's a Mexican story. Well, now you've stripped it of any meaning, any cause. Now it is just a tick box and nobody likes it. So you definitely don't want to do any of this.
Really wish that we could get it to you guys, but we need to stand on the right side of history.
Well, some people had a problem with that. They decided to start asking for themselves in more roles. Yeah, John yeah. He's demanding to be in more roles while also causing trouble for himself. That's not a good sign. Latino creatives. So this would be Latino creatives calling for more jobs for themselves and deeming it to be a virtue signal. The current year is the only time you can virtue signal out of self-interest, out of selfishness and greed, at the cost of your betters, of people that should be in the role, of people who are far more competent than you, and they shouldn't get it, I should, because I'm me and I'm from over there somewhere. Anyone that pulls this grift, get them out. You don't want these people there. They will destroy your industry. They will take things to the public. They will ruin your PR, and the movies they're in will die because they're not doing it for the right reasons. It's not done for the right reasons, but it dresses it up, tries to sound nice, tries to sound weak and vulnerable. They sit in the dark crying help to the humans so that they can take advantage of the people who are actually moral, so that they can manipulate them and then personally benefit from the subversion. Over 100 Latino actors, artists, and storytellers all came out signing an open letter to Hollywood, calling them to give Latinos more work. I can't believe that all these Latino people think that they deserve more money. Never have seen that one coming. If only it was that interest for people of talent, like famous historical figures, then they go through Netflix, and yeah, they get cast to people that shouldn't be in the role. You get praised for acts of birth and things that don't deserve it.
Yes, I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant.
Wow. I mean, you could have gone, I'm up here because I'm so talented. I'm glad that it was recognised as an award for an achievement of something I've worked very hard on. But she knows she's not up there for talent. She knows she's not up there because she deserves anything. She knows it. She's up there because of an act of birth. She's up there for a tick box, and she's so proud.
I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't a tick box. I don't deserve this.
Deserve to be celebrated.
Why? I mean, people keep saying things, but they never say why. I'm only interested in the why.
We're nothing without each other. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much.
I am exactly the same person if you never existed on the face of the planet. Like, you don't matter to me at all. But to her, she actually means it. I mean, without all the NPCs to tell her what to think, she wouldn't even have an opinion. Whereas Halle Berry, my career's been awful because people kept talking about what I look like. And did they really? You're telling me that you didn't get cast because of the way you look? Halle Berry. The highly successful, well-paid actress, international home name, Halle Berry. You're the oppressed person that couldn't get work. It's not all she said. She started complaining about getting an Oscar as well. This is the most privileged class of the most privileged group in the most privileged country of the most privileged time to have ever existed in the entire history of the universe. And she's like, I just didn't get enough free stuff. I should have got more free stuff. I should have got uplifted more for perhaps doing absolutely nothing than I already did. The Oscar didn't necessarily change the course of my career. I won it. I thought there was going to be script truck showing up outside my door. I was wildly proud of it. But I still look like me. You won an Oscar, love. You alienate nearly the entire world to pander to a tiny fringe, a tiny couple of tick boxes. And all of those tick boxes are telling you that you should give them more jobs, while saying things that destroy your industry. And the only people that are going to get them to shut up, it's not them, because they're too selfish and greedy. They can't silence themselves, which means Hollywood is going to have to silence them for them. And at this point, contractually requiring every single Hollywood actor to shut up would probably be the best move that Hollywood has done in years. And I don't say that for me. Every time one of them opens their mouth, I get content. Them shutting up would probably put me out of a job. But you know what? At least we'd get better movies. Hollywood would make more money, and the only people that would lose out are the celebrities that don't deserve a voice in the first place. It's really weird saying this, but I respect Addison Rae just flashing her arse far more than any of this twaddle. And I don't know whether she wore all the stuff as well. I'm just on about the posing. Because at least in that, she's giving the audience what they want. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. More videos like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.